Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Before starting the video, I request you to kindly support my channel. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Jazakallah. Today, we are discussing Wahdatul Wujud, a concept that has been the subject of much debate within the Islamic world. What makes Ibn Arabi's ideas so controversial that his books were once banned? When Imam Rabbani warned that his writings were composed in a state of spiritual intoxication and could be dangerous, what was he referring to? How did great scholars like Ibn Taymiyyah and Bediuzzaman view Ibn Arabi? Were the perspectives of Imam Ghazali and Ibn Arabi in direct conflict? In this discussion, we will explore the profound insights of Ibn Arabi and the depths of Wahdatul Wujud. If you're ready, let's begin. Ibn Arabi is one of the most influential figures in Sufism, known for his deep spiritual experiences. He believed that the root of all existence could be found in a well-known sacred hadith. Allah said, "I was a hidden treasure, and I wished to be known, so I created the universe." The phrase "to know" in this hadith stems from the Arabic root muhabbat, meaning love. Thus, Ibn Arabi viewed creation as an expression of divine love. From the very beginning, love was the driving force behind the existence of the cosmos. Love is light, and this divine light is the first manifestation of affection. He frequently emphasized this idea in his works, famously stating, "My religion is the religion of love." Born in 1165 in Andalusia, Ibn Arabi came from an Arab family. He received a classical Islamic education from prominent scholars of his time, while also immersing himself in Sufi teachings under various sheikhs. His spiritual journey took him far beyond Andalusia, as he traveled across the Islamic world, except for Turkestan. Throughout his travels, he met distinguished scholars and Sufi masters, exchanging knowledge and experiences. He considered his journeys to be divinely guided, and over time, they became deeply spiritual, leading him from external exploration to inner enlightenment. Through these inner voyages, he sought to understand the truth of Allah and the unity of existence. Ibn Arabi was an incredibly prolific writer, producing an immense body of work. It is said that even he lost track of the number of books he had written. Through dreams and mystical experiences, he gained knowledge, always cross-referencing it with Quranic verses before committing it to writing. Estimates suggest he authored between 200 and 300 works, with Fusus al-Hikam and al-Futuhat al-Makkiyya being among the most significant. Soon, we will delve into some of Ibn Arabi's most groundbreaking ideas, many of which stem from these two influential books. One of his most widely discussed concepts is Wahdatul Wujud, the unity of being. Ibn Arabi asserted that the only true existence belongs to Allah. Everything else exists within His knowledge and serves as a reflection of His presence. Absolute existence is exclusive to Allah, for He existed before creation, continues to exist now, and will remain forever. All other forms of existence are secondary, mere manifestations rather than independent realities. While Ibn Arabi did not deny the existence of creation, he also did not subscribe to pantheism, which erroneously equates everything with God. Pantheism suggests that all things are one, and that God, may He be exalted, is indistinguishable from His creation, with everything being a part of Him. While such a notion may appeal to human ego, Ibn Arabi's perspective was distinctly different from this interpretation. It is a dangerous viewpoint. Imam Rabbani mentioned that Ibn Arabi was in a state of spiritual intoxication. In his work, Maktubat, he writes, Ibn Arabi, while presenting the concept of Wahdatul Wujud, was in a state of intoxication, lost in remembrance and spiritual states. Therefore, what he wrote was influenced by this spiritual intoxication. According to Rabbani, such mystical experiences can temporarily distance a person from reality, causing them to see nothing but Allah. However, this state of intoxication should not lead one to deny the existence of creation or to equate it with Allah. While Imam Rabbani acknowledged Ibn Arabi's profound spiritual states, he cautioned that his teachings could be dangerous and easily misinterpreted. A person in a state of spiritual intoxication, he argued, cannot fully comprehend their own words, and thus, their expressions do not necessarily reflect absolute truth. For this reason, these views should be excused but not accepted as definitive. Imam Rabbani further elaborated, "Those who reach the station of Wahdatul Wujud see nothing but Allah and deny the reality of the world. However, when I ascended to a higher station, I saw the world and witnessed Allah's manifestation in everything. At that stage, I saw Ibn Arabi behind and beneath." Through this statement, Imam Rabbani implies that he has surpassed Ibn Arabi's mystical understanding and reached a more complete perspective, which he calls Wahdat al-Shuhud. He believes that Ibn Arabi's concept of Wahdat al-Wujud fails to grasp certain truths, as Wahdat al-Shuhud involves both recognizing Allah's manifestations in creation and acknowledging the existence of creation itself. Ibn Taymiyyah, on the other hand, strongly criticized Ibn Arabi's doctrine of Wahdat al-Wujud, although he did not outright declare him a disbeliever. Ibn Taymiyyah viewed Ibn Arabi's ideas as a threat to the belief in Tawheed, the oneness of Allah, and contrary to core Islamic teachings. However, he refrained from declaring Ibn Arabi an apostate. In his work, Majmu' al-Fatawa, Ibn Taymiyyah wrote, "Ibn Arabi's understanding of Wahdat al-Wujud could lead to the dangerous conflation of Allah with his creation, directly contradicting the Islamic understanding of Tawheed. This doctrine can mislead people and push them towards deviation." Bediuzzaman, while acknowledging Ibn Arabi's brilliance, also offered a nuanced view. He described Ibn Arabi as a miracle of Islamic sciences, but also cautioned, "Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi is a guide, and his faith is sound. However, not every book he wrote serves as a guide or reveals the truth. In religious matters, he sometimes goes beyond the proper limits, contradicting the principles of al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah." Some of his statements, if taken literally, might imply misguidance or even disbelief. Yet, Ibn Arabi himself is far from misguidance or disbelief. He is a believer and a monotheist. This highlights that sometimes a statement might seem to express disbelief, but the person who uttered it may not be a disbeliever. Said Nursi quotes Ibn Arabi's own words on how to approach his works. "Let those who are not of us and do not understand our station refrain from reading our books. It will harm them." In this regard, reading Ibn Arabi's works, especially on Wahdat al-Wujud, can be harmful for those who do not fully grasp their deeper meanings. In Risala-i Nur, Said Nursi adds, "Ibn Arabi is a great figure who has delved into the depths of the spiritual world, but some of his views, particularly Wahdat al-Wujud, are not positions that everyone can understand or experience. Those at this station perceive apparent existences as if they do not exist." Said Nursi regarded Ibn Arabi as a scholar of the spiritual realm, but stressed that his views could easily be misunderstood. Not everyone is at the level to grasp Wahdat al-Wujud. He advocated Wahdat al-Shuhud as a safer and more comprehensible path. Although Imam Ghazali lived before Ibn Arabi, he laid the groundwork for some of the mystical thoughts that would later emerge. However, Ibn Arabi's philosophy of Wahdat al-Wujud does not completely align with Imam Ghazali's ideas. Ghazali emphasized the distinction between Allah and His creation, cautioning against the misinterpretation of spiritual experiences. In his work, Ihya Ulum al-Din, Imam Ghazali highlights the potential for mystical experiences to be misunderstood and stresses the importance of linking them to sound belief. Sufi practitioners may feel as though they see Allah in their spiritual experiences, but this does not mean that Allah and creation are the same. Allah possesses absolute existence, while creation exists as His work. Ghazali's focus was on maintaining a clear distinction between the Creator and creation, advocating for caution in interpreting spiritual states and experiences. Yes, it appears that Ibn Arabi reached such a high spiritual station that he could see nothing but Allah, perceiving His presence everywhere he looked. In this state of spiritual intoxication, he wrote about these experiences. Most Islamic scholars agree that he should not be accused of disbelief. Rather, they argue that he should be excused for the effects of this spiritual state. For instance, if someone were to take medicine, lose themselves, and utter words of disbelief, they would not be considered a disbeliever. This is because they entered a temporary state of intoxication due to the medicine, and their mind was not fully present. Similarly, Ibn Arabi, while lost in remembrance, became overwhelmed by the manifestation of divine light and spirituality, unable to perceive anything else. For example, during the day, stars still exist, but they are not visible. Now, if someone were to say, "There are no stars," what would we say? In Ibn Arabi's case, we could explain that he lived through a prolonged day without night and, for a time, was unable to see the stars. This analogy helps illustrate Ibn Arabi's unique spiritual state. Ibn Arabi was undoubtedly a believer with complete faith. However, some of his statements, if taken literally, might appear contradictory to Islamic beliefs. These words require careful interpretation, as their deeper meanings can be difficult to grasp. For this reason, it is often advised that those without sufficient knowledge avoid reading his works. Just as every field of study has a specific audience and requires a certain level of expertise, the same applies to Ibn Arabi's writings. Only those with the necessary background and understanding can truly benefit from them. Not everyone can fully comprehend or properly interpret his works, and in some cases, misreading them may lead to confusion or even harm. This is why Ibn Arabi's books should be approached with caution. Historically, due to the potential risks associated with his writings, some Ottoman sultans, according to Ibn Abidin, prohibited the reading of his works. Ibn Abidin also issued the following legal ruling: publishing or distributing his book, Fusus al-Hikam, is prohibited because it contains numerous statements that could lead to disbelief. Additionally, some groups seeking to undermine Islam have introduced alterations and additions to the text. For this reason, we adopt the perspective of Wahdat al-Shuhud rather than Wahdat al-Wujud. Making such profound statements without having attained the necessary spiritual rank could indeed be dangerous, and possibly even an act of disbelief. While Ibn Arabi was undoubtedly a great sheikh, he was not a prophet. It is possible that after his passing, he came to realize any errors in his interpretations. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications to stay updated. See you in the next video. Allah bless you all.